Hey everybody, J-Hat Drummer 1976 here. It is Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. And so today I'm going to do some records. Record collection, volume 2. This might be the last of the record collection, because again I have a good sized record collection, but really don't have a lot. So, and I'm doing 5 because that way I can show them to you, explain to you why I got them, all that good stuff. Oh, also, as you guys saw from the last video I did with the open mic, again, I want to thank you guys for viewing that. I thought that was pretty cool that you guys viewed that stuff. But still got 1 subscriber. Not complaining, but it would be nice to have more than 1 subscriber. So hear me out. Hear me out. Don't jump yet. Just hear me out. Here's my goal. Hopefully by the end of this month, I have 10 subscribers. Now, if I have 10 subscribers, I will do every week. I will do a video every week if I have 10 subscribers. Now, I only have 1, so I'm only doing 3 a week. Because there ain't really a lot I do have themes, but I don't want to do every one a week if there's only one. It's like, okay, it's like being a comic in a comedy club, and it's open mic, and there's 1 dude in the audience. Alright? Basically, I got a microphone, and all it is a freaking conversation. So it's kind of like here. I got 1 subscriber. That's kind of like having 1 person like I'm talking to going, yeah, here's my record collection. What do you think? I would like to have 10 subscribers by the end of this month. That is my goal. Now, if I don't get 10 subscribers, I'm only going to do 3 a week. Alright? Deal? Alright. But I also want you guys to comment. If you ain't going to subscribe, which I think you have to post a comment. So please, subscribe and then comment. If you guys are members of YouTube, please, come on, subscribe. Right there, subscribe. It's right up there. All you gotta do is subscribe. That's all I'm asking. All right. Enough ranting and raving. Let's get to the records. Now, the first record we're going to do, I love this woman. Back in the 80s, when I was a kid, I'd see videos of her, and she didn't have a lot of videos, but whenever they were on they were on the on MTV, they would have they would circulate them. This one, they always had her in circulation, especially in the 80s. And her first album came out. Man, it's awesome. Bang. Look at that. I'll hide myself. This is Pat Benatar's Crimes of Passion. Wow. This album right here, you guys see that? This album right here, this changed the landscape of female singers and females in rock and roll, for that matter, especially in the 80s. Because after this album dropped, then you had after Pat Benatar, then it was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Lita Ford. I mean, they had a band in the late 80s called Vixen. I mean, Heart was still doing their thing, man. Even though they were in the 70s, and then in the 80s, they kind of slowed everything down. But I still like that stuff, man. I still like Heart. I love all their albums, man. It's awesome. But this album right here, Crimes of Passion. Of course, the first song I heard on it was Hit Me With Your Best Shot. But then, see the videos, like You Better Run, which was the first, it was the first female video. In fact, it was the second video that MTV aired. The Buggles had Video Killed the Radio Star. Then, boom, that hit. And you see her, and she looks like she's in a garage with her band. And she's just, she's like, as if to say, you gonna love me. She looked like the Joker in the first Batman, and she's just like, wait, they get a load of me. You know what I mean? Just awesome shit. Alright, so there you go, man. Pat Benatar, Crimes of Passion. Now there's actually, now let me show you the back here. So there is a rarity album of this. See, this one was the second photo that they put on the back of this. The first one is actually her, and she's like right beside, she's on the rail, and then of course it shows like it's like here, and then it's like all the words are underneath here, and she was like, I don't like that. You're gonna take that off. You're gonna put my band on the back of that album. So that was kind of a thing back in the day. The band would be on the back of the album, and oh, that's this guy and that person, and yeah. I mean, you know, album covers were kind of, or album, you know, the back sleeves were kind of like, you know, oh, the way they're gonna put on the back of that, you know. But she didn't like the fact that that was on the back. I mean, that was the 80s for you, especially in the late 70s, because, you know, guys were pretty much pigs back in the day. So yeah, there you go, Crimes of Passion. First album out the box here on this, and I thought I'd start with ladies first, you know, for all the ladies out there. For all the girls. Beastie Boys had a great song that was in the intro to Paul's Boutique. It was called To All the Girls. It's pretty. Look at it. Alright, next one. Another 70s album. We got a couple 70s albums here. Actually, 3. This one, I don't know anybody that don't like Boston, okay? And again, I know people that had this album on record and wore it out and bought it again, and wore it out and bought it again. Why? Because it's such a badass album. This album right here says Boston's Don't Look Back. I like that. That is a badass album cover right there. Some of the stuff on this: Don't Look Back, The Journey, It's Easy, A Man I'll Never Be, Feeling Satisfied, Party, Used to Bad News, Don't Be Afraid. You know, this album, does it open? Oh, it opens. And look at this. All the guys in the band, look at that for you. Look at that. See, I didn't think I'd open. See, look at that. That's gotta be, is that how many members are in Bot? No, it can't be. I think these are just like different pictures. I like the dude's shoes, by the way. Yo, look at that. Let me zoom that up on you. Look at the dude's shoes. It's got like some Michael Jackson shoes going there. Michael Jackson, look at that, glitter and all that. It's pretty cool. It's got some Chuck Taylors on. That's, those were the kind of shoes back in the day. But anyway, man, this album is just, again, people had this album, warped it, and went and bought another one because the production on this is second to none. Look at that thing, man. I love that spaceship, man. Sweet. Don't Look Back by Boston. Awesome. Alright. It's another 70s album. What we got here? 3 more. And the rest of these are 70s albums. So we had a little 80s. Now we're just deep in the 70s. And I was just a baby when this stuff came out, man. But this next album is this one is kind of people throw away. When we talk about Aerosmith, I can say name 3 albums. Name 3 of your best albums from an Aerosmith collection, and of course they'll go. And if I say 70s, they'll go. Number 1, of course, is Toys in the Attic. Number 2 is, Rocks. And 3 would be Get Your Wings. Okay. But it ain't complete unless you have this one. Look at that. This is Aerosmith's Draw the Line. Not the best album. But you know what? I kind of love this kind of thing, man. I love rarity albums, especially albums that didn't do so well. Because maybe there was a couple of songs on there that were cool. So here are... Gotta love that old school smell, man. That just smells like the 70s, man. We got Draw the Line, I Want to Know Why, Critical Mass, Get It Up, Bright Light Fright, Kings and Queens, The Hand That Feeds, Sight for Sore Eyes, and Milk Cow Blues. Now, let me tell you something. You got a song called Milk Cow Blues on your record, you damn straight I'm going to buy that, because that has got to be some awesome shit. Milk Cow Blues. Milk Cow Blues. Hell yeah. This album, though, I love the drawing, man. That is awesome. Whoever drew that, man, you ought to frame that. You ought to frame that, man. Like, if you can get like all the guys in the band to sign that, like all the 5 members, you get them to sign that, frame it. Frame it, dude. Because that'd be worth a lot. Because they're in the Hall of Fame, man. And I know a lot of people still go and see them, and their ticket prices have gone sky high. Well, duh, because they're in the Hall of Fame, man. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, if I was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, $100. $100. Come and see me. For $100. Anyway. Draw the Line. Gotta have it. Gotta love it. Alright. Now, another 70s. This one, again, this one I truly love, because this was the last. I mean, if you're an Allman Brothers fan, this one is actually, can't believe I'm having a hard time talking about this, because I saw the documentary on, BBC had a documentary called Sweet Home Alabama, and it was about the Southern rock movement. because this album was, you could probably say this was almost the last album that the Allman Brothers ever put out. So here it is. Check that out. The album is called Brothers and Sisters, and it's by the Allman Brothers Band. And then, see, you got the brother on there. See that? Then you flip it over. Ta-da! You got the sister on the back. So, and of course, if I do this, Brothers and Sisters. This, and again, this is hard for me to talk about because, again, this kind of came out when I was just a baby. I saw the documentary, and there's some good stuff on this album. And here's look at that. This dude took a photo of band members of the band and family members. Let me get that on there. And that's pretty cool, man. So on the back here, let's take a look at some of the songs. Wasted Words, Ramblin' Man, Southbound, Jessica. Love that song. Come and Go Blues, and Pony Boy. Believe it or not, that's it. Now, here's the reason why. Because if anybody knows the Allman Brothers Band, the Allman Brothers Band had a thing for just jamming. They had a thing for just jamming and just going on and on and on. And record companies back in those days were very loose. They would say, you guys want to put out just, a full hour? Let's do it. Let's put it on record. The live cut at the Forum. I've listened to that album so many times, man. And it's one of those albums you just listen to and you just go, they could jam on one song and it would be badass. So anytime I see this album, and it's in my collection, this album always, you listen to it and it does make me sad a little bit to think that Duane Allman had so much more to give. He had so much more to give in the world of music. Now there is another album I have. It's not in this list, but you know what? I might just do another album thing one more time, because there is another one I want to show you guys, but it'll be on the next. It'll be in Volume 3. So there you go, man. Brothers and Sisters, the Allman Brothers Band. I truly, truly love this album, and it makes me. Not only does it makes you feel good. I mean, this is a feel good album, man. So there you go. Now, you go from sad to happy. Happy! Yeah. So here we go. Live album. If not one of the greatest live albums of the 70s. I know there's a lot. There's a lot of live albums, in my opinion. Best live album ever. Now, of course, I showed you Live Bullet by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Now you figure, oh, that's a good live album, but he had two of them. He had that one, and then he had Nine Tonight. This one for the 70s. You guys ready for this? Ta-da! Look at that. Frampton Comes Alive by Peter Frampton. Good stuff. This opens out like the other one, I think. Does it go here? Or how did this thing open? Bear with me, folks. Oh, there it is. Hey! Came out like that. Okay, check that out. Look at all the pictures. And then down there, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a couple other, there's 4 other Frampton albums there. Yeah, man. And of course, this has actually got the famous live cut of Do You Feel Like We Do? Do you feel like I do? Oh, dude. When he does the talk box and everything, you know that, when you do you feel like I do? It's my version of that. Also, it's got Baby I Love Your Way. Another good live cut. Just a lot of great stuff on this, man. And again, this album right here, those 2 songs I heard on the radio all the time, man, those were staples, man. I mean, when you hear "Do You Feel Like We Do," there are 2 versions that the radio will play. They'll play the full one sometimes, but then they'll always play the short one. And I always tell people, I said, dude, if you can find that on a jukebox, you can go to YouTube it, and get the full "Do You Feel Like We Do," because it is just, this is in my opinion, that's the kind of song you listen to. Do you feel like we do when you're like half baked? Most of these albums, man, you listen to when you're like half baked, especially Rush albums back in the 70s. Oh man, awesome stuff. I actually drew out some 70s this time, one from the 80s, but yeah. Let me tell you guys something. This is the kind of stuff I love to do. Talk about records and video games. I know I haven't done any video games in a while. Now, I will be honest with you guys. I have emulators. I have video game emulators. Alright? I am going to try and boost my collection of actual consoles and video games. Okay? Cool? I know I ain't the only one that gets these emulators. Okay? So, yeah. But now I want to tell you guys about who I subscribe to. I'll give you 3. And they are the 3 that I go to actually see if they got anything new. And these guys are video game, video game junkies. And the first one is Teddy Rubskin, and he talks about Sega. He talks about the wonderful world of Sega, because Sega does what Nintendo don't. I always hated that. Like, I had a Nintendo, and then Sega comes out, and they're like, Sega does what Nintendo don't. I was like, whatever. Happy Console Gamer. Love his videos, man. Love his videos. Love watching what he does best, and his friend Rob Man, his big Mega Man fan, and I like Mega Man, and but not as much as he does, because he's got like this weird ass collection, man. And then of course Alpha Omega Sin. This guy is funny. I love the way he rants. I love the way he talks about video games, rants about all his crazy, when a video game company does wrong, he's like right on that, man, and he is just like, he just goes off on a tangent. It's crazy. But I like those three. Those three are my all-time favorites. And again, if the three of you see this video, I would really love for you guys to maybe tell some friends or whatever about this and subscribe. If you guys are members of YouTube, and again, I thank you for the views. I thank you for viewing this, but viewing is one thing. Subscribing is another. And again, by the end of this month, I would love to have 10 subscribers. Please, would love to have 10 subscribers. Because, again, I know I'm starting out on this, and I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I have a camera, and it's on my laptop, right up there. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's not enough. But for me it is, because most of the time all these other people are sitting in front of a camera going, you know what, this is what I like. I like video games. I like old school music. I like nostalgia. So please subscribe. It's free. It's free. If you're a member, it's free. Subscribe. Let's do this all day. Should have like a picture of me doing this, or like a video of me doing this. Just like, subscribe. And then every now and then, just 5 minutes, I just screen go, subscribe, Please. Dude. Because if I don't get 10 subscribers, then it's only going to be 3 a week. But I would really love, and if I get 10 subscribers, then I can post a week's worth. I ain't doing nothing. I do this, and then I go hang out with friends. This is all I do. Alright? So with that, I'm J-Hat Drummer 1976. Wednesday, we're going to go back in the day. So until then, J-Hat Drummer 1976 here. You guys have a good one. I will see you Wednesday.